How long do I have to file a car accident claim in New York? After a crash in New York, the biggest risk is missing a deadline before you even realize one exists. In most cases, you have 3 years from the date of the car accident to file a personal injury lawsuit in New York under CPLR Section 214. That 3-year period is called the statute of limitations, and it controls when a lawsuit must be started in court. The deadline applies whether you were a driver, passenger, pedestrian, or cyclist. If the crash caused property damage, the same 3-year statute of limitations generally applies under CPLR Section 214. If the accident resulted in death, the timeline changes to 2 years from the date of death for a wrongful death lawsuit under EPTL Section 54.1. Because the date of death can be later than the date of the crash, the wrongful death deadline can be different from the injury deadline. New York also has deadlines that start running immediately after the collision, and they are separate from the deadline to sue. If anyone is injured or killed, EPTL Section 600 requires notifying the police immediately. In New York City, the NYPD typically completes the police accident report on Form MV-104AN. If the crash caused injury, death, or more than $1,000 in property damage, EPTL Section 605 requires a driver to file the MV-104 accident report with the DMV within 10 days. Failing to file the MV-104 can lead to driver's license suspension by the DMV. New York is a no-fault insurance state, so your own policy can pay certain losses regardless of fault. That coverage is personal injury protection, also called PIP, and it can provide up to $50,000 in benefits. PIP can cover medical bills, lost earnings up to $2,000 per month, and other necessary expenses. To receive no-fault benefits, you generally must submit the written no-fault application no later than 30 days after the accident under Insurance Regulation 68. Missing the 30-day no-fault deadline can result in a denial of PIP benefits. Proof of claim for medical expenses generally must be submitted within 45 days after the services are rendered. Proof of claim for lost wages generally must be submitted within 90 days after the loss is incurred. No fault also affects when you can pursue pain and suffering in a lawsuit. Under Insurance Law Section 5104, you can sue for pain and suffering only if your injuries meet the serious injury threshold in Insurance Law Section 5102(d). Examples listed include fractures, significant disfigurement, permanent loss of use of a body organ or member, and injuries that prevent usual daily activities for at least 90 of the first 180 days after the accident. If a government vehicle was involved, the deadlines are much shorter than the standard 3-year window. Under GML Section 50E, you must file a notice of claim within 90 days of the accident when suing a government entity. The notice of claim is a formal document that states who you are, what happened, when and where it happened, and what injuries you claim. After serving the notice of claim, additional waiting requirements may apply before starting the lawsuit, and the government may schedule a 50H hearing. For many claims against New York municipalities, the lawsuit generally must be started within 1 year and 90 days after the accident. Some situations can toll or pause the statute of limitations, but the exceptions are narrow and fact-specific. If a child under 18 is injured, CPLR Section 208 generally delays the start of the 3-year period until the child turns 18, which can allow filing up to the 21st birthday. Claims against municipalities can still require a notice of claim within 90 days even when the injured person is a minor. CPLR Section 208 can also toll the deadline for insanity, a legal standard related to the inability to protect one's legal rights, and physical incapacity alone does not always toll the time. CPLR Section 207 can toll the deadline in some situations when a defendant is continuously absent from New York, though limits may apply when jurisdiction and service are still available. Missing the statute of limitations typically means losing the right to file the lawsuit because courts generally dismiss late cases. A missed deadline can also weaken settlement negotiations because the insurer knows litigation may no longer be available. Missing the no-fault deadline can mean losing up to $50,000 in PIP benefits, and missing the MV-104 deadline can lead to license suspension. Right after a crash, acting quickly helps preserve evidence and keeps these time limits from slipping by. Call 911 if anyone is injured and wait for officers to document the scene. Exchange driver's license, insurance, and registration information with other drivers. If you can, take photos of vehicle damage, the scene, road conditions, and visible injuries. Write down witness names and contact information. Seek medical attention within 24 hours because some injuries are not immediately apparent. Notify your no-fault insurer in writing within 30 days and file the MV-104 within 10 days when required. This is why people often speak with a car accident lawyer early, before any filing window closes. A Queen's car accident lawyer can also help identify whether a government notice deadline applies and what documents must be filed on time. If you need guidance on the deadlines described here, a car accident attorney can review the accident date, the injury type, and any notice requirements. Your attorney may also help manage steps like no-fault paperwork and the DMV report while you focus on recovery. Choosing a law firm that tracks every deadline can help protect your ability to pursue compensation. If you need help tracking these New York deadlines, contact a lawyer at KL Sanchez Law Office, PC, 3706 82nd Street No. 304, Jackson Heights, New York, 11372, United States, at 646-701-7990.